Great. Welcome, guys. It's great to see you again. And yes, you may all know today we have a lecture from the expert speaker. So today is the second GYCC education session, and we'll be holding a lecture for the first half of today's session. As global and young GYCC members, we encourage you all to be reminded of why we are working towards each team's projects for deforestation. That's why today's lecture will be on the topic, responsibility of global youth against climate change. And joining us today is our guest speaker, Mr. Chung Woo-tak. Our distinguished guest today was the previous director of Education for International Understanding and is deeply experienced in global citizenship education. Please give him a warm welcome and your full attention. Thank you. We'll now pass the mic on to Mr. Chung Woo-tak.
Hello, everybody. My name is Woo-tak Chung. Nice to meet you from all over the world. Seoul is the afternoon, so that's why I told you good afternoon, but maybe some in morning, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and all over the world. Today's topic is global citizens education. I will share my PPT. Can you see this screen well? No problem?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, yeah. The topic, responsibility of global youth against climate change. Today, in this year, topic is deforestation. But I'm not the expert on this deforestation. I'm expert. I'm very familiar with global citizens education. That's why today I will give a lecture on global citizenship or global citizenship education. This is a foundation for deforestation and to save our world from climate crisis. Yes. Now I'm a professor of 2 universities in Korea and 1 university in Japan. But whole my career, is UNESCO. Almost 30 years. I was in the Korean National Commission for UNESCO, and 6 years UNESCO Apseyu. UNESCO Apseyu is a UNESCO Category 2 center located in Seoul. From 2012 to 2019, I was a 4th and 5th director. At that time, all my work is related to global citizens education. I will share with you. This is a picture on APSEU, Asia Pacific Center of Education, International Understanding, located in Seoul. My lecture will be the first part, the world we live in. Maybe you know where about this. This is a warming up session. Second, what is global citizenship, or what is global citizenship education? Short name GCED. And then conclusion, how to be global citizens. There are a lot of short names like this. Please study this. I will, in this lecture, I will usually use these short names: APSEU, EFA, Education for All, EIU, ESD, GCD, Global Citizens Education, and GEFI, Global Education First Initiative, LTLT, Learning to Live Together, MDG, SDG, ODA, and UNESCO. Maybe you know well about this short names and full names. Yeah, the world we live in. This is my own explanation on the world. World is smaller and smaller. That's why we call it global village. Maybe you agree with my own description. In this small global village, two keywords. That is, number one, interconnectedness. You cannot see the deep inside of ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Atlantic Ocean. But in deep ocean, there's cables connected us. That's why you have a mobile phone. If you send any message to your friends in other countries, soon they will answer, respond to you. Or in this small world, well interconnected. That's why number one keyword is interconnectedness. Number two, this is a global supply chain. The very good example is Boeing Dreamliner, B787, the new airplane made by US and UK engine, US and UK, wings by Japan, wingtips by South Korea, all assembled in Seattle. This is the best way to produce cheap and good quality of airplane. That's why I call it interdependence. The second keyword in this small global village, that is interdependence. By this interconnectedness and interdependence, we enjoy a lot of cheap price of very good quality products, and also we travel all over the world. But there's a dark side of global village. We have a lot of global issues, challenges like this: poverty, refugee issues, and biodiversity, and all those issues. Today, we are using the Zoom. We have a lecture like this. Why? Pandemic. We are still faces this coronavirus. Maybe you know well about the coronavirus. I suggest you to watch this movie, Contagion. It was produced 2011, almost 10, 11 years ago, but well described today's COVID-19 pandemic situation. In the end of the movie, there's what the shows that this is conclusion. Yeah. By the company would like to develop the forest, so cut trees, and then the bat stayed in the forest. They fly to human settlement cities, and then transmit the virus of a bat to human being. This is the start of a contagion, what the end of the contagion, you know where this bat transmit the virus to the pig, and then human being had such a virus. What is cause of a virus? Usually we indicate, point out the bad, but human being, those companies, they would like to get more benefit or more profit from development that made such a virus. So this is deforestation, also deeply related to pandemic. A second big challenge, that is the increasing of population. Human population was a long time constant like this. After industrial revolution, rapidly increased the human population. Today we are 7.8 billion. There's a worse product projection, 14 billion maybe, or we have a very ideal projection that 10 billion. Increasing of population, we need a lot of fuel and those sources. Before the what we have such a the diverse fuels. The first source that was him like this. So we cut the trees a lot and we use it for human beings, and also increasing of human beings. Today we have cars like this. My car is dream of development. So this is a photo taken in LA expressway. There's so many cars on the street. It was 1960s, 70s, 80s. Is lifestyle in USA and Western countries, but the development widely spread, and so many countries developed their own economies. And today, as you see, in Southeast Asia, so many countries also have such a cars like this. This is China, Beijing, China, traffic jam. And also those traffic jam, there's a side effects. This is Manila and Indonesia. Manila and Indonesia, Southeast Asia is very, very serious air pollution. And also there's a lot of the urban problems. That's why Indonesia would like to move their capital from Jakarta to in the forest of Borneo. This is Indonesia's policy to avoid such pollution and urban problems. So moving to Borneo means deforestation. So many trees will be cut by the people. So deforestation problem still exists. And also air pollution. So many cars that made air pollution. And also in Korea, usually in the spring or autumn, we face yellow dust, fine dust. In Korea, yellow dust usually come from from the west Gobi Desert in Mongolia, China, and in this area. Gobi Desert, there's no trees like this, no trees. It's a deforestation, of course, a lot of air pollution problem like this. Big damage to human beings. And also the another industrial those plant on also of course a lot of air pollution problems. That's why we have global warming like this. Long time, very constant temperature in the globe, but after industrial revolution, the temperature of Earth's surface increased remarkably like this. So very dangerous. End of 1890s to today's. That's why we call it global warming. The global warming is a very modest word, terminology. Today we call it global heating. This is crisis, climate crisis. And also we produce a lot of waste. So European countries export the waste to poor countries in Africa and Asia. Korea also export our waste to Philippines. So it's waste trafficking. 10 years ago in Lebanon, Beirut, Lebanon, the government was paralyzed, and then there's no capacity to all those waste, and almost 6 months in Beirut on the street, the waste, the garbage, accumulate like this. So serious. And then maybe you like this Starbucks coffee and plastic cups. Maybe in those cups on the ocean, and then coming and going, and then today ocean plastic pollution is one of a very serious problem. What shall we do? If we will keep the Western pattern of production and consumption, we need 4 planet or 5 planet. Can you produce or make a planet? It's impossible today. Today is impossible. What shall we do? This is my question. Elon Musk said we can migrate from Earth to Moon or Mars. Do you want to migrate to Moon or Mars? I don't want. I really want to live in this planet. What shall we do? We have to have sustainable lifestyle, sustainable development, so sustainability. This is only solution today. And also another global challenge, that is huge gap between rich country and poor country. This is a well-known slide, only one slide, but you easily understand the huge gap between North and South. The USA, Canada, Western Europe, and Japan, South Korea, and Japan, rich country. Latin America and Africa and South Asia. So this is huge gap between rich and poor countries. By this huge gap, there's refugees like this, and they are moving to rich country. And also there are war, Syrian war and Afghanistan war and Ukrainian war. By this war, so many refugees, there are so many refugees, as you see, they are moving to migrate to rich and safe country. Almost all those countries, Germany, Austria, European countries, and Austria, they are moving to there. But today, some countries said no. The UK, we will exit from EU, and then we don't want to get more refugees. That's why they took Brexit, and also Trump also declared that we wanted to stop to receive the refugees from Latin American countries. The xenophobia is very popular in the world, in this small global village. And then today, in this year, in 24th of February, there's a war between Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, Russia invaded Ukraine. Yeah, it's devastated all cities, and also destroyed the apartments and destroyed the forest. This is a deforestation by war. Yeah, very serious. This is the world we live in. What shall we do? I suggest you global citizenship education or global citizenship. Yeah, what is global citizenship education? It has a long, it has deep root. The global citizenship education, before it was cosmopolitanism, but after UN, UNESCO, that is come from the in the early days of UNESCO. What is UNESCO? UNESCO is a United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organizations. UN specialized agency for education, science, and culture. UNESCO preamble, since was beginning in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men, the defenses of peace must be constructed. UNESCO mission is very clear: peace education. Through peace education, UNESCO would like to make peaceful world. Yeah, this is UNESCO preamble. How to make a peaceful world through education. In the first time, UNESCO focused on education for all, building, classroom, school, train teachers, provide textbook, and parallel activities, that is EIU, Education for International Understanding. What do we teach? No hate, no prejudice, more friendship. So the contents of education should be education for international understanding. And then 1970, 80, and 90s, environment problem was very serious and emerged to the world. And then education for sustainable development. This is environmental education and education for sustainable development. Then today, the world is so small. There are a lot of conflicts. UNESCO suggests global citizenship education. This is a UNESCO education. As you see, there are so many educations, so many terminologies, but today I will tell you only, I will focus on global citizenship education. This is a UNESCO education from since its inception, 1950s, literacy and adult education, 60s, compulsory education, 70s, lifelong learning, and 1990s, EFA, Education for All, and then Education for All Framework for Action, and 2015, ESD and GCD, Global Citizenship Education. Yeah. Education for international understanding, this is a deep root of global citizenship education. That's why I will show you this history of EIU. In Europe, after World War II, revision of history and textbook was successfully completed, and then UNESCO started UNESCO Associate School, ASP School, and then 1974 adopted the recommendation, and as you see, 2005 to 2014 education for sustainable development, then 2012 global citizenship education emerged. This is a history of education for international understanding. This is a slide, as you see, 1990 Jump 10 EFA, 10 years late, Dakar framework for action, and 1 year late, UN adopted MDG, and then 2005, 2014, 10 years, UNDSD, UN Decade for Education for Sustainable Development. During that decade, Mr. Ban Ki-moon in 2012, he suggests GYCC, Global Education First Initiative. In this GYCC, he emphasized the importance of global citizenship. And this global citizenship well reflected to post-EFA and post-MDG, that is the Sustainable Development Goal. Yeah. EFA 6 goals, I will skip it. I will share my slide with you, so late, please study more about this. This is a relationship between EFA and MDG. MDG only pick up 2 topic goals from EFA, and then UN declared MDG in 2001. This is, I believe all of you well knows on this MDGs. And then UNESCO, one of publication, Learning the Threats Within, published 1996. There are 4 pillars of education: learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, learning to live together. One pillar, learning to live together, this is a philosophy for global citizenship education. UNESCO in 1996 started this is the beginning of global citizenship education. As you see, LTLT, learning to live together, and UNESCO started ESD, and 2012 UN Secretary declared the Global Education First Initiative, and then 2015 in Incheon, UNESCO adopted Global Citizenship Education, and then, yes, in UN General Assembly adopted this Global Citizenship Education. This is agenda setting process. Yeah. Before going to ESD, Education for Sustainable Development, the first stage was environmental education. Environmental education, the importance of environment started by Madame Rachel Carson. She published the book Silent Spring in 1962. This is the beginning of environmental education. She alarmed the problem of environment. And then 10 years later, 1972, the Club Rome published the book, The Limits of Growth. And in this book, the economic development is enough. No more economic development. We think about our small planet, that is sustainable development. Yeah. Environmental education, the first international meeting was Stockholm Conference in 1972. By this conference, UNEP was born. Yeah. By this conference, UNEP started. And UNEP and UNESCO encourage environmental education. And then 1987, UN Brundtland Commission published the book, Our Common Future. In this book, sustainable development, the definition of a sustainable development emerged. Yeah. As you see, sustainable development is one that meets needs of a present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Then 2002, 5 years late, World Summit on Sustainable Development supported this concept. And then finally, 2005 to 2014, UN declared UN Decade of Education for Sustainable Development, 10 years. And then this is all activities on sustainable development, education for sustainable development. And still it going well like this. Yeah, this is in the first what the concept of what education for sustainable development, environment, economy, and society. There's education for sustainable development. 2012, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, then Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon declared Global Education First initiative. There are 3 priorities. The third priority, fast global citizenship. This is a newly emerged issue since 2012. The other 2 come from the EFA, but fast global citizenship is a new agenda. So I myself and the Korean governments would like to make this global citizenship as a post SDG, post development agenda. So I try to all my efforts for 3 years to make this global citizenship as a global agenda. Yeah. This is only one slide, but you can easily understand global citizenship education to make how to make it as a global agenda. Mr. Ban suggests in 2012. Then 1 year late, I invited first meeting, the technical consultation on global citizenship education, September 2013 in Apseyu in Korea. This is the meeting. And then 1 year late, in Oman, Muscat, UNESCO organized global EFA meeting. I attended. We organized 1 session. And then officially, global citizenship education officially documented, inserted in the Muscat statement. And then 1 year late in Incheon, UNESCO member states adopted global citizenship education. And then finally, 3-4 months late in UN SDG summit, all UN member states adopted global citizenship education. Now it is SDG 4.7. This is a global agenda setting process. JEFI and then Apseyu meeting and Oman Muscat. Very important, critical moment. Then Apseyu meeting, as you see myself, Madam Su Choi and Mr. Tang at that time, ADG of UNESCO. This is a report of global citizenship education. You can get all those publication in UNESCO website or the Apseyu website. In Oman Muscat, Muscat statement, final statement adopted like this, target 5, global citizenship education and education for sustainable development. This is a first official document to insert, to mention about global citizenship education. This document suggested 2 Incheon Declaration, Incheon, and then UN, as you see. In Incheon, UNESCO member states adopted it, as you see. This is the Incheon Declaration. Yes. Education for sustainable development and global citizenship education. Yes. Then it moved to UN. UN organized the SDG Open Working Group, and then finally, September 2015, UN adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Education is number 4, quality education. 4.7, that is education for sustainable development and global citizenship education. So this is SDG target 4.7. As you see, education for sustainable development and then global citizenship education. This target 4.7, only 2 education will be monitored, and all indicator related only to education for sustainable development and global citizenship education. I believe this is a linchpin or cornerstone to achieve whole SDG. Yeah, I believe this is very, very important. Yeah, the global agenda. Yeah. I suggest you please think about next SDG, post SDG. The SDG will, the end year will be 2030. We have 7 years. Maybe I believe 2015 or 16, UN and UNESCO and all global community will open to the world on the global agenda, next global agenda. What will be for next global agenda? Today we have 17 goals. Okay, post SDG, 10 goals or 20 goals. What will be the goals? Deforestation or culture or AI? So this is my kinds of homework to you. Please think about next post SDG. What kinds of agenda will be? Yeah, please think about that. Yes. Global citizenship. What is global citizenship? Yeah. The definition, this is official, not official, this is operational definition. Global citizenship is a sense of belonging to global village, global community, and responsibility to common humanity. You are a global citizen. You are thinking about responsibility of global use against climate change. You are global citizen, I believe. Global citizen should have universal values. Yeah, universal values. Global citizenship is closely related to universal values. The origin is cosmopolitanism. In ancient Greek philosopher Diogenes, at that time somebody asked to him, where come from? Well, who are you? I'm a citizen of the world. Greek word cosmopolitan. Yeah? That's why we, the founding father of cosmopolitanism, that is Diogenes of Sinope. Cosmopolitan tradition well penetrated in the Western European tradition, and today what the emerged as education for peace, education for international understanding, and UN studies, and then today global citizenship education. Core theme of global citizenship education: universal values, that is a peaceful world, peace, sustainable development, cultural diversity, human rights, all those are core theme of global citizenship education. Pedagogy, UNESCO suggests cognitive, social-emotional, and behavioral. Cognitive means academic knowledge. Social-emotional means your heart. You have a very warm and kind emotion on the human beings. Yeah. Behavioral means you have to act, you have to participate. Yeah. This is three domains, three competencies. Okay, I will skip it. This is quite pedagogy. I will skip it. To be a global citizen, you have to have a very good empathy skill, empathy, care, communication skills, tolerance, understanding. You have all learners equip these kinds of non-cognitive skills. Teachers, pedagogy, holistic dialogism, value formation, critical empowerment. This is pedagogical principles. We can teach almost all subjects on this global citizenship education. That's why we call it transformative pedagogy and transformative education. James Banks suggests that there are four kinds of citizen: legal citizen, minimal citizen, active citizen. The ultimate goal is a transformative citizen. And Madame Vanessa Andreotti, usually we think about global citizenship education, friendship and good relationship. She called it soft global citizenship. She suggests from soft to critical, this is very, very important. We have to understand asymmetrical globalization, unequal power relationship in international system, all such an unequal injustice, on everything we have to study. This is critical global citizenship education. How to be global citizens? Yeah, I suggest you to study, to learn science books such as Cosmos. You know? If you read this Cosmos, understand this Big Bang, from Big Bang, the birth of cosmos and the our planet and starting point of our human our life and human life. If you have such a big understanding on our cosmos and planet and human beings and animals and plants and everything, your understanding will be different. Yeah. This is today big history is such a teaching. There are 8 fundamental time threshold of big history, as you see: Big Bang and Earth and solar system, and then life started, Homo sapiens. Yeah, it's a newly emerging species in Earth. We started agriculture only 11,000 years ago, and the modern revolution and industrial revolution, science revolution, everything. Our today's civilization started only 250 years ago. So human beings are new beings in this Earth and solar system and cosmos. If you have such an understanding, your understanding to other things will be changing. And also human beings are apes. Maybe some of you will deny about this. We are not the animals. No. Biologists, the scientists and biologists, today's science, biology suggests that human being is not so much different from animals. We are part of ape, like as you see, orangutan, gorilla, chimpanzee, bonobo. They are our cousins. Yeah. They are our cousins. We are only one what kinds of species to travel all over the world, migrates to all over the world, from Africa to Europe and Central Asia to North Asia and to Northern America to South America and Australia. Successfully migrate to whole global village. Yeah. You can get information, knowledge from Ernst, Jones, and Steele. Yes, human beings are. We think we are only we are the owner of this globe, but no. As you see, human beings started only 250,000 years ago. We are not owner of this globe. This Earth solar system started 4.5 billion years ago. We are only guests in this world. Yeah. Do you have ownership, or do you have? Do you believe you are only the very guest in this global village? If you have such a feelings, you will be very, very modest in this world. You believe I'm the owner of this globe, you will destroy everything in this world. If you have a kinds of feeling of guest, yeah, it will be different. This is my message to you. Yeah, please think about this. Yeah, and also human rights is very important in global citizens education. No prejudice, no discrimination by those race, color, sex, language, religion, or no discrimination, no prejudice. When I went to the Australian university, in the classroom, they have a Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But please think about this UDHR. There's no any rights of animals, no rights of plants, no rights of river or sky or the mountain. Only 30 articles only focus on human beings. I suggest you to watch this Netflix documentary. The title is Cowspiracy. Today, those ship to catch a fish, almost several hours. They bring these kinds of things, these kinds of catching a fish. Cowspiracy predict 20 or 30 years late in Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Atlantic Ocean, there's no fish, no fish. This is a human being. Yeah, as you see, those dolphins. This is human beings so cruel to catch dolphins like this. I suggest you to watch second Netflix documentary, Cowspiracy. So many people, 7.8 billion. And also economic development, we enjoy beef, steak. How to supply beef and steak, not traditional way. This is a modern, cow, we call it cow factory, you know. Yeah. This is Paris. To provide those for cow, we need the soybean bean. We cut the trees in Amazon. Yes. This is we enjoy the all those beef that makes this kinds of deforestation. Okay, the third Netflix documentary, that is Kissed Ground. Yeah. In this, yeah, as you see, we have a lot of virus and bacteria, very good, what the small worms, everything in this one. But to produce more rice and more what those for human beings, we cultivate our land, what the modern style. It makes our work, the all grounds as dead grounds. Dead grounds means desertification. Yeah, it's like a Gobi or desert or something. Yeah, this is very serious. Yeah, that's why today there are a lot of vegetarians in the world. Yeah, and of those beef and one good news, that very small and very good news from New Zealand, Hanganui Lee. Please check this news. In March 2017, New Zealand government recognized and also permit the Hanganui as a rights of human being. This is the rights, duties, and liability of a legal person. So in New Zealand, this Wanganui leaf has a legal person's rights, duty, and liability of legal person. This is a revolutionary concept. Please think about your topic, deforestation, with this legal person. Please provide the plant or the tree as a legal person. Yeah, this is new, I believe this is a newly emerging concept. Okay, almost the conclusion, how to make a peaceful and sustainable future. Yeah. In Europe, already there's a lot of global citizens education network, global education network in Europe. Please check GYN. You can get a lot of information. And in Arab countries, there's citizens education, global citizens education is widely spread. In Japan, China, Korea. In China, like this, Chinese, Japan, like this, and Korea, the different Chinese translation, but one global citizens education. UNESCO also suggests global citizens of education, taking it local contextualization of global citizens of education. Each civilization or country has its own concept, philosophy on global citizens of education. For example, in South Africa, Ubuntu, this is global citizens of education. Bolivia, Buen Vivir, this is global citizens of education. Bhutan, gross national happiness. Korea, 홍익인간. In France, fraternity, this is global citizens of education. Please think about your own global citizens of education in your own civilization, your own history. Yes. This is almost the end. I will share a whole information. Please, if you want to get more information, please click this UNESCO APSEU, and MGIP, and also Oxfam published books on teacher and student, and Angel Network. Also, this is scholars, the researchers network. Is they have a meeting every year, and UCL, University College London, is the kinds of hometown of global citizens of education in Europe. And those are experts, Madame Lynn Davis, Professor Dina Kiwan, Professor Iwan Davis. If you check the name, then you can get books or the textbooks on global citizenship education. And also NGOs, Bridge 47, they have global citizenship education MOOC. And also Concord, they have North-South Center in Lisbon, Portugal. They have online training courses and their program in European Union. And Austria, Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens. And Klagenfurt University has MA and PhD, MA course on global citizenship education. And the USA, Columbia University, usually Professor Carlos Torres and Fernando Lime from Harvard University teach global citizenship education. Lehigh University, Professor William Caudelli also teach global citizenship education. And Canada, Albert University is a well-known university, British Columbia and Quebec University. This is book published by Professor Ali Abdi and Vanessa Andreotti. Yeah, this is Korean book. The author is, I wrote this book, published this year, Global Citizenship Education, SDG. Unfortunately, I don't have English book. It will be translated in this year, and next year I will publish in English. Yeah. I really want you will be a global citizen. This is my message. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Please give a big round of applause to Mr. Jang Woo-tak. Yes, and if you have any questions, please leave it on chat, or you can just turn on your microphone. Yes. If you have any questions regarding the global citizenship or any other things regarding today's lecture, you can ask now.
It's not a question, but a comment. So yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Chung. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name. It was indeed a very insightful and informative session. I was yeah, quite surprised to see all the areas that you covered with the global citizenship, and then climate change and SDGs and so on. Also, maybe it's my fault that I didn't study well, but this is something very new to me, that about Wanganui River in New Zealand, that they introduced this new concept to treat a river as a legal person. So I think that's a very effective concept. If we can introduce that to our communities and our countries, I think that would be very beneficial, not just for the present generation, but also to the future generation. So I will yeah, really hope to adapt or work with that concept with my team members, if we can focus on that when we are going to develop our action model. So thank you very much once again for the informative session.
Yeah. Amali, from which country?
I'm from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I've been to Sri Lanka several times. I have many friends there, and very good country, very beautiful country. And also Sri Lanka, your tradition is very, very close to global citizenship and also sustainability. The Buddhism, you also, your own tradition, well preserved the environments. So this is not new one. Maybe I believe Sri Lanka will provide such a very good what ideas, philosophy, or the examples to the world. Thank you very much to meet you.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, there's one chat from Magda, yeah, she was also the part of 5th GCED in 2019. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with it. Like we all must be the global citizen, and yeah.
Oh,
foster-
yeah. Yeah. Oh, who is a team for part of 5th GCD in 2019? Oh, yeah.
That's me.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah. Nice to
Alright.
meet you.
Nice
This
to meet
is the information. UNESCO also, APSEU has also the youth forum every year. Usually March, April announce that what youth forum, then invites youth from all over the world. Almost
Alright.
50 youth from all over the world to come to Korea and
Alright.
or to have a meeting in other countries. So please,
Okay.
yeah, please.
I will do check it out. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Is there any other question?
Sorry, could you repeat the last thing you said? What kind of forum was it? What was the name?
You mean the youth forum?
Yes.
UNESCO APSEU, the website is www.unescoapseu.org. UNESCO Cathedral 2 Center in Seoul started youth forum since 2016, almost 6 years, and maybe coronavirus is not serious, then next year, the APSEU will organize youth forum in Seoul or in other country. And you can apply, young generation, apply to youth forum. Select 50 young people from all over the world. And then this is a free of charge. Very good program. You can learn global citizenship education. You can learn UNESCO, and you can make a network of your friends from all over the world. Yeah, almost 1 week. This is very good program like GYCC. Please apply.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. The link with us. Any other questions or comments you want to share?
I will leave my email. If you have any question, please contact me. My email is utchung, my initial, utak, utchung, at naver.com. So I will write here. Anytime you want, please contact me. I'm teaching global citizenship education in Korea or any other countries. So I always welcome any question, comments, or your contact. I will welcome you. Please contact. Not everybody. Okay, I will send you everybody. Team Mary, will you? This is okay. I will send you my email, everybody. Okay, please contact me. So any question, any comments, any suggestion, I welcome you.
Yes, great. I believe that before we go in depth on the topic of deforestation, we must get set with the global citizenship. Yeah, so thank you so much for your lecture today, Mr. Chung Ta. Yes, and yeah, I think we can have a break time for 10 minutes.